Hello, beautiful soul. I want you to know that right now, in this very moment, you are exactly where you need to be. Whatever brought you here today, whether it's a longing for better health, a desire for financial abundance, or simply the wish to feel more joy in your daily life, that calling in your heart is real and valid. You are not broken, and you are not behind in life. You are simply ready to step into a truth that has always been available to you. There's something magical that happens when we begin to understand that we are literally one thought away from transforming our entire experience of life. This isn't about positive thinking as a band-aid solution or pretending that challenges don't exist. This is about recognizing the profound power that lives within each of us to create health, wealth, and joy from the inside out. Your thoughts are not just random mental chatter. They are the building blocks of your reality, the seeds from which your life experience grows. Many people spend years searching for the perfect diet, the right investment strategy, or the ideal circumstances to finally be happy. Yet what if the answer was simpler than we ever imagined? What if the key to the life you desire was already in your possession, waiting quietly in the space between your ears? This isn't about adding more to your life. It's about uncovering what's already there and learning to work with the incredible creative force of your own mind. Your body knows how to heal itself. Your spirit knows how to attract abundance. Your heart knows how to experience pure joy. These aren't special abilities reserved for a chosen few. They are your birthright as a human being. The only thing that ever stands between you and the life you desire is the collection of thoughts you've been thinking, many of which were never even yours to begin with. They were handed down like old clothes, inherited from family, friends, society, and past experiences, and you've been wearing them so long you forgot they weren't originally yours. Today marks the beginning of choosing your thoughts consciously, deliberately, and with great love for yourself. This isn't about perfection or never having another worried or fearful thought. This is about developing a loving relationship with your mind and learning to guide your thoughts in directions that serve your highest good. Think of it as tending a garden. You don't curse the weeds, you simply recognize them and gently redirect your attention to nurturing what you want to grow. The beautiful truth is that your life is always reflecting back to you the dominant patterns of your thinking. When we understand this connection, we stop feeling like victims of circumstance and begin to see ourselves as powerful creators of our own experience. This shift in perspective alone can change everything because it moves us from a place of powerlessness to a place of infinite possibility. Every thought you think is either moving you toward health or away from it, toward abundance or away from it, toward joy or away from it. There's no neutral ground in the realm of consciousness. This might sound overwhelming at first, but it's actually the most liberating news you could receive. It means that no matter what has happened in your past, no matter what your current circumstances look like, you have the power to begin creating something new right now. The mind is incredibly powerful, yet most of us have never been taught how to use it consciously. We've been running on automatic pilot, letting old programming drive our lives while wondering why we keep getting the same results. But automatic pilot is just a habit, and habits can be changed. With gentle persistence and self-compassion, you can learn to become the conscious director of your thoughts rather than their unconscious victim. This journey we're beginning together is not about forcing or fighting with your mind. It's about creating a partnership with your thoughts, learning to work with them as allies in creating the life you truly desire. Your mind wants to help you. It just needs clear, loving direction about where you want to go. When you begin to treat your thoughts as creative tools rather than random events that happen to you, everything shifts. The path to perfect health, abundant wealth, and genuine joy isn't found in external circumstances aligning just right. It's found in the quiet moment when you realize that you have been the creator of your experience all along, and that with this awareness comes the power to create anew. This isn't about blame or regret for past thinking patterns. It's about celebration that you now have the key to change anything that isn't working in your life. You are here because something deep within you knows that more is possible. Trust that knowing. Trust the part of you that believes in transformation, that believes in healing, that believes in abundance, that believes in joy. That part of you is connected to the same creative force that grows flowers from seeds and turns acorns into mighty oaks. You are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are an expression of it, and learning to think in harmony with this power is the most natural thing in the world. Every single thought is a new beginning. Every moment offers a fresh opportunity to choose thoughts that align with the life you want to live. You don't need to wait for perfect circumstances or more knowledge or a better time to start. The perfect time is now, and the perfect place is wherever you are, and the perfect person to begin this transformation is exactly who you are right at this moment. Now let's explore something truly remarkable about the nature of thought itself. When scientists study the brain, they find that a single thought creates measurable changes in brain chemistry within milliseconds. That thought then sends signals throughout your entire nervous system, influencing every cell in your body. This isn't mystical thinking. This is observable science showing us that our thoughts have immediate, tangible effects on our physical reality. Think about what happens when you recall a beautiful memory. Your body relaxes, your breathing deepens. Perhaps you smile without even realizing it. Your heart rate might slow down, stress hormones decrease, and feel-good chemicals flood your system. Now consider what happens when you worry about something that might never even occur. Your muscles tense, your breathing becomes shallow, your heart rate increases, and your body produces stress hormones as if the imagined threat were actually happening right now. This demonstrates something profound. Your body doesn't distinguish between what's actually happening and what you're thinking about. To your nervous system, a vividly imagined experience creates the same physiological response as a real one. This means that every time you think a loving thought about yourself, your body responds with healing chemistry. Every time you think an abundant thought, you literally create a different energetic state that affects how you show up in the world and what opportunities you attract. The thoughts you think today are creating your tomorrow's reality, not just metaphorically, but physically and measurably. When you truly grasp this connection, it becomes impossible to be casual about your thinking patterns. You begin to see thoughts as you would see food. Some nourish you and help you thrive, while others deplete your energy and create imbalance. Just as you wouldn't knowingly eat food that made you sick every day, you can learn to choose thoughts that support your well-being. This is why one thought really can change everything. It's not about the magical power of a single thought to instantly transform all external circumstances, though sometimes that does happen. It's about understanding that every thought you think is either reinforcing old patterns or creating new ones. When you shift one thought, you shift the trajectory of all the thoughts that follow. When you shift your thinking patterns, you shift your emotional state. When you shift your emotional state, you shift your actions. When you shift your actions, you shift your results. Consider how a river changes course. It doesn't happen through force or sudden dramatic action. It happens through the gentle, persistent flow of water that gradually creates a new pathway. Your thoughts work the same way. One loving thought about yourself might seem small, but when that thought is followed by another and another, it begins to carve new neural pathways in your brain. What was once an unconscious pattern of self-criticism can become a conscious pattern of self-appreciation. The most beautiful part of this process is that your brain is designed to support new patterns of thinking. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. the brain's ability to reorganize itself throughout your entire lifetime. This means that no matter how long you've been thinking certain thoughts, no matter how ingrained old patterns might seem, your brain is always ready to learn new ways of being. Every time you choose a different thought, you're literally reshaping your brain to support that new way of thinking. This is particularly important when it comes to health, wealth, and joy, because these areas of life are so deeply connected to our fundamental beliefs about ourselves and what we deserve. Many people have been carrying around thoughts about limitation, unworthiness, or impossibility for so long that these thoughts feel like absolute truth. But thoughts are not truth. They are simply mental habits that can be changed with patience and practice. When you begin to understand that thoughts are creative forces, you naturally start paying attention to what you're creating with your mind throughout the day. You begin to notice the difference between thoughts that energize you and thoughts that drain you. You start to recognize which thoughts lead to expansion and which lead to contraction. This awareness is the first step in becoming a conscious creator of your own experience. The beautiful thing about working with the power of thought is that it requires no special equipment, no expensive training, and no external approval. It's completely available to you right now, wherever you are, whatever your circumstances. The mind that's been creating your current experience is the same mind that can create something entirely new. It's just a matter of learning to direct it consciously and lovingly. Now, let's turn our attention to understanding the thought patterns that might be running your life without your conscious awareness. Most people go through their days without ever really noticing what they're thinking. Thoughts seem to just happen, like weather patterns that move through consciousness without our input or control. But the truth is, we always have more influence over our thoughts than we realize. We just need to develop the skill of conscious awareness. Think of your mind like a radio that's been playing the same station for years. You've gotten so used to the background music that you barely notice it anymore, but it's been influencing your mood and energy all along. Learning to observe your thoughts is like suddenly becoming aware of what station you've been listening to. Once you notice, you realize you have the power to change the station to something that feels better and serves you more. The patterns of thinking that create limitation in health, wealth, and joy usually sound very reasonable and logical. They often begin with phrases like, I can't, I don't deserve, it's too late, I'm not smart enough, money is hard to come by, my family has always struggled with this, or good things don't happen to people like me. These thoughts feel true because they've been repeated so many times that they've worn deep grooves in consciousness. But here's what's important to understand. Just because a thought feels familiar doesn't mean it's serving you. Just because you've thought something for a long time doesn't make it accurate or permanent. Many of the thoughts that feel most true are actually the ones that most need to be questioned and updated. They're like old software running on your mental computer. They might have served a purpose once, but now they're just slowing down the system. One of the most common patterns people discover is the tendency to focus on what's wrong rather than what's right. This isn't a character flaw. It's actually a survival mechanism that was helpful when physical danger was a constant threat. The mind learned to scan for problems as a way of keeping us safe. But in modern life, this same mechanism often creates more stress than safety because we end up treating every challenge as if it were a life-threatening emergency. When it comes to health, you might notice thoughts like, something's always wrong with my body, I'm getting old and falling apart, or I inherit all the bad genes. These thoughts create stress in the body, which actually interferes with natural healing processes. When it comes to money, the patterns might sound like, there's never enough, rich people are greedy, or I'm just not good with money. These thoughts create energetic resistance to receiving abundance. For joy, the limiting patterns often include, life is hard, I don't have time to be happy, or I need to worry about everything, or it won't get done. The beautiful thing about recognizing these patterns is that you don't need to fight them or judge yourself for having them. Think of them like clouds passing through the sky of your consciousness. Clouds aren't permanent, and they don't define the sky. They're just temporary visitors. When you can observe your thoughts with this kind of gentle detachment, they begin to lose their power over you automatically. One simple way to begin observing your thought patterns is to notice how you feel throughout the day. Your emotions are like a feedback system, letting you know what kinds of thoughts you've been thinking. When you feel tired, frustrated, worried, or stuck, those feelings are often pointing to underlying thought patterns that aren't serving you. When you feel energized, peaceful, excited, or grateful, those feelings are highlighting thoughts that are supporting your well-being. This isn't about judging any emotion as good or bad. All emotions have value and carry important information. It's about developing the awareness to recognize the connection between your thoughts and feelings so you can make conscious choices about where to direct your mental energy. When you notice you're feeling contracted or limited, you can gently ask yourself, what have I been thinking about? What story have I been telling myself? Often, just bringing awareness to the underlying thoughts is enough to create space for something new. Many people discover that their most limiting thoughts aren't even original to them. They're inherited beliefs from family, culture, past experiences, or society that were absorbed unconsciously over time. When you begin to examine these thoughts closely, you might find yourself asking, is this actually true? Is this thought helping me create what I want? Would I choose to think this way if I were consciously choosing my thoughts right now? This process of gentle inquiry isn't about forcing positive thoughts or denying real challenges. It's about creating space to choose thoughts that are aligned with your deepest values and desires. It's about recognizing that you have the power to be selective about which thoughts you give your energy and attention to. Just like you choose what to eat or what to wear, you can learn to choose what to think, not perfectly, but progressively, with growing skill and self-compassion. The goal isn't to control every thought or to never have another worried or doubtful moment. The goal is to develop a loving, conscious relationship with your mind, where you can recognize unhelpful thought patterns quickly and redirect your attention toward thoughts that support your health, wealth, and joy. This is a practice, not a perfection, and every moment offers a new opportunity to choose thoughts that align with the life you truly want to live. When we think about perfect health, most of us have been taught to focus on what's wrong with our bodies rather than what's magnificently right. We've learned to fear illness, to expect our bodies to break down over time, and to believe that health is something fragile that can be lost at any moment. But what if everything you've been taught about health has been backwards? What if your body is actually designed to be healthy, vibrant, and strong, and it's only our fearful thoughts about health that interfere with this natural state? Your body is a miracle of intelligence that performs millions of functions every moment without any conscious effort on your part. Your heart beats, your lungs breathe, your cells regenerate, your immune system protects you, and your body heals cuts, bruises, and broken bones all by itself. This isn't happening because you're trying to make it happen. It's happening because health and healing are your body's natural state. When you truly understand this, everything changes about how you think about your physical well-being. Every cell in your body is listening to your thoughts and responding accordingly. When you think thoughts of appreciation for your body, you literally create chemistry that supports healing and vitality. When you think thoughts of fear, criticism, or worry about your health, you create stress chemistry that interferes with your body's natural healing processes. This doesn't mean that thoughts alone heal everything, but it does mean that supportive thoughts create an internal environment where healing can flourish. Think about how your body responds when you feel deeply loved and appreciated. Your muscles relax, your breathing deepens, your digestion improves, and you feel energized from the inside out. This is your body's natural response to loving thoughts. Now consider how your body feels when you're constantly criticizing it, worrying about it, or expecting it to fail you. Your muscles tense, your breathing becomes shallow, your digestion struggles, and you feel drained. Your body is always reflecting back the quality of thoughts you're thinking about it. One of the most powerful shifts you can make for your health is to begin speaking to your body the way you would speak to a beloved child. Instead of saying, "My back always hurts," or "I'm falling apart," you can begin saying, "My body is healing and getting stronger every day," or "I trust my body's wisdom to restore perfect balance." This isn't about denying real symptoms or avoiding medical care. It's about creating an internal environment that supports whatever healing work you're doing. Many people have been taught that aging automatically means declining health, but this is simply a belief system, not a biological law. When you release thoughts of limitation about aging and begin to see each year as an opportunity for greater wisdom, vitality, and joy, your body responds to this expectation. You've probably noticed that some people seem to grow more vibrant with age, while others seem to diminish. The difference often lies in their fundamental beliefs about what aging means and what's possible for their bodies over time. Your body wants to feel good. It wants to be strong, flexible, energetic, and comfortable. When something feels out of balance, your body is simply asking for attention and care, not criticism and fear. Learning to listen to your body with love rather than anxiety changes everything about how you experience physical challenges. Instead of seeing symptoms as enemies to be fought, you can begin to see them as messengers carrying important information about what your body needs. The thoughts that support perfect health are rooted in trust, appreciation, and cooperation with your body's natural intelligence. When you think thoughts like, "My body knows how to heal itself," "Every breath I take brings me greater vitality," "My body is strong and resilient," or "I trust my body's wisdom," you're aligning your consciousness with your body's natural healing capacity. These aren't just positive affirmations. They're statements of truth about how your body actually works when fear isn't interfering with the process. Sometimes people worry that thinking positive thoughts about health means they're being unrealistic or irresponsible. But supporting your body with loving thoughts is one of the most practical things you can do for your well-being. It costs nothing, has no negative side effects, and can be done anywhere, anytime. It doesn't replace good medical care, healthy eating, or regular exercise. It enhances the effectiveness of everything else you're doing for your health. One simple practice that can transform your relationship with your body is to spend a few minutes each day appreciating different parts of your physical self. You might place your hands on your heart and thank it for beating faithfully all these years. You could appreciate your legs for carrying you through life, your hands for all the ways they serve you, or your eyes for showing you the beauty of the world. This kind of appreciation creates healing chemistry and strengthens the loving connection between your mind and body. Now let's explore what it means to create true wealth consciousness, because most people have been thinking about money in ways that actually push abundance away rather than attracting it. Wealth isn't just about money, it's about abundance in all areas of life. It's about feeling rich in love, rich in opportunities, rich in creativity, rich in experiences, and yes, rich in financial resources too. When you understand wealth as a consciousness rather than just an accumulation of things, you begin to access the unlimited abundance that's always available. The biggest block to wealth isn't lack of education, connections, or opportunities. It's the belief system that says abundance is limited, that there isn't enough to go around, or that wanting financial prosperity makes you greedy or unspiritual. These beliefs create energetic resistance that blocks the natural flow of abundance into your life. Money is simply energy, and like all energy, it flows toward where it's welcomed and flows away from where it's resisted or feared. Think about people you know who seem to attract money easily. They usually have a relaxed, confident relationship with finances. They expect good things to come to them. They're generous with others, and they don't spend their time worrying about lack. They've developed what we call wealth consciousness, a way of thinking that's aligned with abundance rather than scarcity. This isn't about being reckless with money or pretending that budgets don't matter. It's about approaching money from a place of empowerment rather than fear. Many people have inherited beliefs about money that were formed during times of economic hardship, often passed down through generations of struggle. Thoughts like, money doesn't grow on trees, we can't afford that, rich people are selfish, or money is the root of all evil, create energetic barriers to receiving abundance. These beliefs might have served a purpose in helping previous generations survive difficult times, but they may not be serving you in creating the life you want now. Creating wealth consciousness begins with recognizing that abundance is the natural state of the universe. Look around you. Nature doesn't operate from scarcity. There are billions of flowers, countless grains of sand, infinite stars in the sky. The creative force of life is constantly expanding, growing, and multiplying. When you align your thinking with this natural abundance rather than fighting against it with scarcity beliefs, you begin to participate in the flow of prosperity rather than standing outside of it. This doesn't mean you never have to work or take practical action toward your financial goals. It means you approach that work from a place of creative excitement rather than desperate struggle. When you believe that abundance is available to you, you make different choices, notice different opportunities, and attract different results. You stop operating from the fear that there isn't enough and start operating from the knowing that there's always enough and more. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to begin seeing money as a tool for good rather than something to be ashamed of wanting. Money allows you to take care of yourself and your loved ones, to contribute to causes you believe in, to have experiences that enrich your life, and to share your gifts with the world without worrying about survival. When you think about money this way, wanting financial abundance becomes an act of service rather than selfishness. The energy of gratitude is one of the fastest ways to shift from scarcity consciousness to abundance consciousness. When you appreciate what you already have, even if it's less than you ultimately want, you create an energetic vibration that attracts more to be grateful for. This isn't about settling for less than you desire. It's about creating the internal conditions that allow greater abundance to flow into your life. Many people push money away by constantly focusing on what they don't have, complaining about bills, or talking about how expensive everything is. These thoughts create resistance to the very thing they want more of. Instead, you can begin to appreciate money when it comes to you, even in small amounts. You can thank the money in your wallet, appreciate the abundance that allows you to buy food and shelter, and celebrate every financial blessing, no matter how modest it might seem. Another important aspect of wealth consciousness is learning to see yourself as valuable and worthy of abundance. Many people have deep beliefs that they don't deserve wealth, that they're not smart enough or talented enough to be prosperous, or that good financial fortune happens to other people, but not to them. These beliefs create an energetic ceiling on what you're able to receive because you can't attract what you don't feel worthy of having. Your worthiness isn't based on your achievements, your education, your family background, or anything you've done or failed to do. Your worthiness is inherent, built into the very fabric of your being. You deserve abundance simply because you exist, because you're a unique expression of the creative force of life, and because you have gifts to share with the world. When you truly accept this, prosperity becomes a natural extension of honoring your own value. Joy is not something that happens to you when circumstances are perfect. Joy is something you can choose moment by moment, regardless of what's happening around you. This might sound impossible if you've been waiting for life to arrange itself just right before you allow yourself to be truly happy. But joy is actually your natural state, the way you're designed to feel when you're not interfering with your own well-being through limiting thoughts and beliefs. Most people have the equation backwards when it comes to happiness. They think they'll be joyful when they get the right job, the perfect relationship, better health, or more money. But joy doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from internal alignment with the love and appreciation that are always available within you. When you access joy from the inside out, you actually become more attractive to all the external things you thought you needed in order to be happy. Think about young children for a moment. They can find delight in the simplest things: a cardboard box, a puddle to splash in, a silly face you make. They haven't yet learned to postpone happiness until conditions are perfect. They haven't developed the habit of focusing on what's wrong or missing. They naturally live in the present moment, which is the only place where joy can actually be experienced. This capacity for joy doesn't disappear as you grow older. It just gets covered up by thoughts and beliefs that steal your attention away from the present moment. Joy is always trying to express itself through you. It's in the sunset you walk past without noticing because you're worried about tomorrow. It's in the laughter of someone you love, in the feeling of clean sheets, in the first sip of morning coffee, in the satisfaction of completing a task, in the connection you feel with a friend. Joy is everywhere, but it can only be experienced when your attention is available to receive it. The thoughts that steal joy are usually focused on either the past or the future. When you're replaying old hurts, rehearsing arguments, or wishing things had been different, you're not available for the joy that's trying to reach you right now. When you're worrying about what might happen, planning for problems that may never occur, or waiting for someday to finally be happy, you're missing the aliveness that's only available in this moment. This doesn't mean you ignore real challenges or stop planning for the future. It means you learn to handle practical matters from a place of presence rather than anxiety. When you're grounded in the current moment, you actually make better decisions, solve problems more creatively, and handle difficulties with greater ease. Joy doesn't make you unrealistic. It makes you more effective because you're not wasting energy on mental time travel. One of the simplest ways to reconnect with joy is to begin noticing small pleasures throughout your day. The warmth of sunlight on your face, the smile of a stranger, the taste of something delicious, the feeling of your pet's fur, the satisfaction of crossing something off your to-do list. These moments of appreciation are like doorways into joy. The more you notice them, the more available you become to experiencing happiness regardless of your circumstances. Joy is also deeply connected to gratitude, but not the kind of gratitude that feels like an obligation or a technique you have to practice. The gratitude that opens the door to joy is the spontaneous appreciation that arises when you really notice how much is going right in your life. Even in the midst of challenges, there are always things working in your favor. Your heart is beating, you have air to breathe, you have people who care about you, you have opportunities to learn and grow. Many people resist feeling joyful because they think it means they don't care about serious problems in the world or in their own lives. But the opposite is true. When you're connected to joy, you have more energy, creativity, and resilience to handle whatever needs your attention. Joy doesn't make you selfish. It makes you more able to contribute positively to your own life and to the lives of others. A joyful person spreads light wherever they go, and the world needs more light. Sometimes joy feels unfamiliar if you've been in the habit of worrying or struggling for a long time. If happiness feels scary or uncomfortable, that's perfectly normal. You can start small, allowing yourself to enjoy tiny moments without feeling guilty or waiting for the other shoe to drop. Joy is like a muscle that gets stronger with use. The more you practice choosing thoughts that feel good, the more natural it becomes to live from a place of appreciation and delight. Your capacity for joy is unlimited because it comes from your connection to the love that you are, not from external circumstances. This love is always present, always available, always ready to fill you with warmth and light. When you remember this truth and align your thoughts with it, joy becomes not just a fleeting emotion, but a way of being in the world. And from this place of joy, everything else, health, wealth, and all the other blessings you desire, flows much more easily into your experience. Creating a daily practice around conscious thinking isn't about perfection or rigid routines. It's about weaving moments of intentional awareness throughout your day in ways that feel natural and nourishing. The most powerful transformation happens not in dramatic moments of change, but in the gentle, consistent choices you make from the time you wake up until you go to sleep. Each day offers countless opportunities to choose thoughts that support your health, wealth, and joy. And the more you practice these choices, the more automatic they become. The way you begin your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. Before you even get out of bed, you have the opportunity to choose your first thoughts of the day. Instead of immediately reaching for your phone or jumping into worry about your to-do list, you can take a few moments to appreciate the gift of a new day. You might place your hands on your heart and thank your body for resting and restoring itself through the night. You could think about 3 things you're looking forward to, or simply take a few deep breaths while appreciating the comfort of your bed. These first moments of the day are precious because your mind is naturally more receptive when you're transitioning from sleep to wakefulness. Whatever thoughts you choose to focus on during this time tend to influence your energy and mood for hours to come. You don't need to spend a long time on morning practices. Even 2 or 3 minutes of conscious, loving thoughts can shift your entire day in a positive direction. As you move through your morning routine, you can continue to choose thoughts that support your well-being. While brushing your teeth, you might appreciate your mouth and teeth for all the ways they serve you. While showering, you could thank the water for cleansing and refreshing you. While getting dressed, you might choose clothes that make you feel good about yourself and think appreciative thoughts about your body. These small moments of conscious appreciation create a foundation of positive energy that carries you through whatever the day might bring. Throughout the day, you'll encounter situations that could pull your thoughts in different directions. When challenges arise, you can pause and ask yourself, what thought would be most helpful right now? This doesn't mean forcing positive thoughts when you're genuinely upset or pretending problems don't exist. It means choosing thoughts that empower you to handle whatever you're facing from a place of strength rather than fear. You might think, I can handle this. There's something good that can come from this situation, or I trust that everything works out for my highest good. One simple practice that can maintain positive momentum throughout your day is to notice when you're feeling good and consciously appreciate those moments. When you feel energized, peaceful, excited, or grateful, take a moment to really savor that feeling and thank yourself for creating it through your thoughts. This helps train your mind to recognize and repeat the thought patterns that generate positive emotions. During meals, you can think appreciative thoughts about the food nourishing your body, the people who grew and prepared it, and your body's ability to transform it into energy and vitality. While driving or commuting, instead of using that time to worry or stress, you can appreciate the reliability of your transportation, send loving thoughts to other drivers, or simply enjoy the scenery around you. These small shifts in attention create a completely different experience of routine activities. When you interact with other people throughout the day, you can choose thoughts that bring out the best in both of you. Instead of focusing on what annoys you about someone, you can look for something to appreciate about them. This doesn't mean ignoring genuine problems in relationships, but it means approaching others from a place of goodwill rather than criticism. When you think loving thoughts about people, they often respond by showing you their more loving qualities. Your evening routine is just as important as your morning practices because it helps you process the day and prepare for restorative sleep. Before bed, you can reflect on the day with appreciation rather than regret. Instead of reviewing everything that went wrong or worrying about tomorrow's challenges, you can think about 3 things that went well, 3 things you're grateful for, or 3 ways you grew or learned something new. This kind of positive reflection helps your subconscious mind integrate the day's experiences in a constructive way. As you prepare for sleep, you can speak lovingly to your body and mind, thanking them for carrying you through the day and asking them to restore and heal you through the night. You might think thoughts like, "My body knows how to heal and restore itself while I sleep. My mind releases the day and prepares for peaceful rest." Or, "I wake up tomorrow feeling refreshed and excited about life." These thoughts create an internal environment that supports both restful sleep and positive expectations for the following day. The key to making daily practice sustainable is to start small and build gradually. You don't need to transform every moment of every day immediately. You can begin by choosing just 1 or 2 times during the day to practice conscious thinking, and then slowly expand as it becomes more natural. The goal is progress, not perfection, and every moment of conscious choice makes a difference in creating the life you desire. Now let's talk honestly about what happens when you encounter resistance to these new ways of thinking, because resistance is a normal and natural part of any transformation process. When you begin to change long-standing thought patterns, part of your mind may rebel against the changes, even when those changes are clearly beneficial. This resistance isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's actually a sign that you're making real progress in updating old programming. Resistance often shows up as thoughts like, "This positive thinking stuff doesn't work. I'm just kidding myself. My problems are too big for this to help," or "I don't have time for this." Sometimes resistance appears as increased worry, sudden skepticism, or the feeling that focusing on positive thoughts is somehow irresponsible or naive. These reactions are completely normal and don't mean you should give up on creating positive change in your life. Think of resistance like the immune system of your old thought patterns. Just as your body's immune system tries to reject anything foreign, your mind's habitual patterns will initially try to reject new ways of thinking. This resistance isn't personal and it's not permanent. It's just the mind's automatic response to change. Understanding this can help you be patient and compassionate with yourself when transformation feels difficult. When persistent negative thoughts arise, the most effective approach is gentle redirection rather than forceful fighting. Trying to force positive thoughts when you're feeling genuinely upset is like trying to plant flowers in soil that hasn't been prepared. The effort often backfires and creates more frustration. Instead, You can acknowledge the negative thoughts without judgment and then gently guide your attention towards something that feels even slightly better. Sometimes the most helpful thing you can do when you're stuck in negative thinking is to simply step away from trying to think positively for a while. You might take a walk, listen to music, call a friend, or do something creative with your hands. Physical movement is particularly helpful for shifting mental energy because it changes your body chemistry and often creates space for new thoughts to arise naturally. One of the most important aspects of working with resistance is developing self-compassion for the times when you feel like you're not making progress. Change rarely happens in a straight line, and there will be days when old thought patterns feel stronger than new ones. This doesn't mean you're failing or that the process isn't working. It means you're human, and transformation takes time. Being kind to yourself during difficult moments actually speeds up the healing process because self-criticism creates additional stress that interferes with positive change. When setbacks occur, you can remind yourself that every thought is a new beginning. You don't have to wait until tomorrow or next week to start choosing supportive thoughts again. The moment you notice you've been thinking in ways that don't serve you, that awareness itself is the beginning of change. You can simply take a breath, appreciate yourself for noticing, and choose a thought that feels even slightly better than the one you were thinking. Sometimes resistance shows up as doubt about whether you deserve the good things you're trying to create in your life. These feelings of unworthiness are usually rooted in old messages from the past, not in current reality. When these doubts arise, you can speak to yourself the way you would speak to a dear friend who is struggling with self-worth. You can remind yourself that you deserve health, wealth, and joy simply because you exist, not because of anything you have to earn or prove. It's also helpful to remember that resistance often increases just before a breakthrough. When old patterns are beginning to dissolve, they sometimes seem to get stronger temporarily, like a candle flaring brighter just before it goes out. If you find yourself experiencing more negative thoughts or emotions than usual while working on transformation, it might actually be a sign that deep changes are happening and old energy is being released. The most sustainable approach to working with resistance is to treat it as information rather than as an enemy. When you notice negative thoughts or difficult emotions arising, you can get curious about what they might be trying to tell you. Sometimes resistance points to areas where you need more support, more patience, or a different approach. Sometimes it reveals old beliefs that are ready to be examined and updated. When you approach resistance with curiosity rather than judgment, it often transforms into wisdom. Creating your perfect life begins with developing a clear vision of what you truly want to experience in the areas of health, wealth, and joy. This isn't about creating a wish list of external things you think will make you happy. It's about connecting with the feelings and experiences you want to have, and then aligning your thoughts and actions with those desired feelings. When you're clear about how you want to feel, the external circumstances that support those feelings have a way of arranging themselves naturally. Take some time to really consider what perfect health would feel like in your body, not just the absence of problems, but the presence of vitality, strength, flexibility, and comfort. How would you move through your day if you felt completely confident in your body's ability to support you? What activities would you engage in? How would you treat your body differently? What thoughts would you think about your physical self? Getting clear on these feelings and experiences helps you make choices that align with your vision of optimal health. When it comes to wealth, consider what financial abundance would actually provide for you beyond just having money in the bank. Would it give you a sense of security and peace of mind? Would it allow you to be more generous with others? Would it provide freedom to pursue meaningful work or experiences? Would it remove stress from your daily life? Understanding the deeper desires behind your financial goals helps you cultivate the feelings of abundance that attract prosperity into your life. For joy, think about what brings you the deepest sense of satisfaction and aliveness. What activities make you lose track of time? What relationships fill you with love and appreciation? What accomplishments give you a sense of purpose and contribution? What simple pleasures bring you immediate happiness? Identifying these sources of joy helps you prioritize them in your daily life and create more opportunities for authentic happiness. Once you have a clear vision of how you want to feel in each area, you can begin taking practical steps that align with those desired experiences. This might mean choosing foods that make your body feel energetic and strong, making financial decisions from a place of abundance rather than fear, or scheduling time for activities that bring you genuine joy. The key is to make choices that match the energy of what you're trying to create rather than the energy of what you're trying to escape. Building support systems for lasting change is crucial because transformation happens more easily when you're surrounded by people who believe in your growth and potential. This might mean spending more time with friends who encourage your positive changes, joining groups of like-minded people who are also working on personal development, or finding mentors who embody the qualities you want to develop. It might also mean limiting time with people who consistently drain your energy or discourage your efforts to grow. Remember that support doesn't always have to come from other people. You can create support through books, podcasts, videos, or other resources that reinforce the positive changes you're making. You can also support yourself by creating environmental reminders of your goals, pictures that inspire you, notes with encouraging messages, or objects that remind you of your commitment to health, wealth, and joy. The blueprint for your perfect life isn't something you create once and then forget about. It's a living vision that evolves as you grow and change. Regularly reconnecting with your vision helps you stay motivated and aligned with your deepest desires. You might spend a few minutes each week visualizing your ideal life, or you might write about your goals and dreams in a journal. The important thing is to keep your vision alive and vibrant in your consciousness. As we come to the close of our time together, I want you to know that everything you need to create the life you desire already exists within you. You are not lacking anything essential. You are not behind in life, and you are not broken in any way. You are a magnificent being with unlimited potential, and you have the power to create health, wealth, and joy starting right now, in this very moment. The journey of transformation is not about becoming someone different than who you are. It's about removing the thoughts and beliefs that have been hiding your true nature from you. Underneath all the worry, fear, and limitation is a radiant being who is naturally healthy, naturally abundant, and naturally joyful. Every loving thought you think, every moment of appreciation you experience, every choice you make from a place of self-worth is simply uncovering what has always been true about you. Remember that change happens one thought at a time, one moment at a time, one choice at a time. You don't have to transform everything at once. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to begin where you are, with what you have, and trust that each small step forward is creating powerful changes in your life. The fact that you've spent this time focusing on positive possibilities for your life is already shifting your reality in beautiful ways. There will be days when this all feels easy and natural, and there will be days when it feels challenging. Both experiences are part of the journey. On the easy days, celebrate your progress and enjoy the flow of positive energy. On the challenging days, be extra gentle with yourself and remember that even the intention to think loving thoughts is creating positive change, even when it doesn't feel like it's working. You are worthy of perfect health. You are worthy of abundant wealth. You are worthy of profound joy. These are not rewards you have to earn through struggle or suffering. They are your birthright as a beloved child of the universe. The love that created you wants you to thrive, to prosper, and to experience all the beauty and wonder that life has to offer. Trust the process of positive change even when you can't see immediate results. Trust your ability to learn new ways of thinking and being. Trust that the universe is always supporting your highest good, even when circumstances seem challenging. Most importantly, trust yourself. Trust your wisdom. Trust your strength. Trust your capacity to create the life you truly desire. Every sunrise brings new possibilities. Every breath offers a fresh start. Every heartbeat is proof that life is flowing through you with infinite love and support. You are one thought away from a completely different experience of life, and that thought is available to you right now. Choose it with confidence, embrace it with gratitude, and watch as your world begins to reflect the love and beauty that you truly are. The journey of creating perfect health, abundant wealth, and lasting joy begins now. Take the first step with love, continue with patience, and know that you are supported every step of the way. Your magnificent life is waiting for you to claim it.